Hey fans, welcome to episode 257 of Mel's Mat Chat. How is everybody going? How's everybody's week going? Mine's is great. I'm a little bit more happier this week. Just next week on Wednesday, I'm going to be solidifying everything for my mother's funeral, so I may be a little off next week. So just a little FYI. So I want how is everybody's week going? Um, I'm doing really, really well with be beside the point. I mean, we've Jesus Christ, it's been crazy the past couple of weeks, but I'm doing okay and whatnot. So we had Grand Slam, which was incredible. We have Soraya Knight. Um, she is now all elite. We are going to end up having 2 hours, so I'm only going to be able to watch probably maybe half of Rampage tonight because I got to get up early on Saturday to go visit my son and whatnot. So that is that. We are kind of in a weird way right now because we have to worry about now Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules is going to set up us for Survivor Series because it was that we're going to have War Games. Triple H confirmed it. Everything. We are War Games bound on in November. Then we in between all of that, in betwixt, we have Crown Jewel, and we have Roman Reigns taking on Logan Paul. I think, or yep, Logan Paul or Paul Logan, whatever. At this point, and we're going to be having that, and his brother's going to be joining him because, of course, the bloodline's going to be there, and so much more. Oh, I love that sound. It's not a beer, okay? It's liquid death. So we're going to be. I'm going to be covering that. I'm going to be covering Survivor Series, Extreme Rules, and the Crown Jewel. But I need you to do me a favor. Please go check out harrys.com and get all your shaving and toiletry essentials there. If you have a beard, go check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com and go check them out for all your beard essentials. Please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. They have original sparkling water. They have lime, which I'm drinking right now, mixed berry, and mango orange. Go check that out. Also, please go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com and get all your coffee essentials. They have just more than just coffee. They have mugs and stuff like that. Also, this weekend we have Genesis, September 24th on Fight TV. I think it's going to be on Fight TV. You'd have to go check that out. Double check. I'm almost 90% positive. Also, if you're going to do that, and if there is any tickets left in on for the event this weekend, go check everything out at hogwrestling.net. And please go check out Sanctuary and Outbreak Wrestling in the greater Pennsylvania area. Go check them out on all their social media. They don't have a website yet. I don't know. I'm trying to get the whole logistics of that and whatnot. So let's get this show on the road. By the way, it is fucking gorgeous outside. Like a week ago, I was sweating my ass off. Today, I am comfortable. I am happy. My joints don't hurt me for the first time in months. So that is that. Let's get this started. Let's get this started. Yeah, 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 yeah. Doodah, doodah. I'm in a somewhat happy mood. Oh, doodah. I know I'm a little nutty today, but what else is new? Sorry about my hair. It's just a little wild today. All right, we're gonna go right into last week's SmackDown. Last week's SmackDown was a crowning of a new number one contender for the Usos tag team undisputed championships. And we are doing. They were having a the fatal four way, and we also have SmackDown began with Logan Paul making his entrance. Paul begins his promo before the commentary team is done with their introductions. Paul says he has a habit of opening his mouth and saying stupid stuff. Paul says that he opened his mouth about Floyd Mayweather and not even he could put him down. And he has set up a press conference for tomorrow for Reigns to show up and meet him face to face. That press conference is exactly what you're supposed to do. All right. Hey, Tony, please do me a favor. Over the weekend, when you have enough time, watch that what is it called? Press conference, and take notes from the game. He's the game for a reason. He's going to teach you a couple things on how a boss knows how to wrangle his employees. So Paul Heyman and everyone in the bloodline, not named Roman Reigns, comes out to the ring. Heyman enters the ring as the rest of the bloodline surround the ring. Heyman and Paul shake hands, and Heyman says Paul's name to incredibly loud boos from the crowd. Heyman says, "Paul, could you be a Paul Heyman?" Heyman says, "Paul, you could be a Paul Heyman guy." Heyman then referenced Paul's brother Jake Paul fighting Anderson Silva. The crowds booed and at the mention of Jake Paul. Heyman says he doesn't care about anything Logan Paul has done. He needs to make the start decision and pick a fight with someone other than Roman Reigns. Now, the reason why they chose Las Vegas is because of this very reason, because his brother was facing Anderson Silva. So might as well piggyback off the press. They were already there. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Paul says it only takes one lucky shot for him to drop Roman Reigns, and that one shot is all he needs to take the title from Reigns. Heyman gets closer to Paul and calls out Solo Sikoa's name. Sikoa jumps on the ring apron and calms down the situation. Sami Zayn gets in the ring as the crowd goes wild in love for Sami Zayn. Zayn gets Sikoa to jump down from the ring apron. Zayn tells Heyman that he should be the one to handle Logan Paul. Paul sucker punched Zayn and rolls out of the ring before the Usos and Sikoa can get to him, almost botching his roll out of the ring, but still managing to escape. So then he motions and he has Ricochet come out. So there's a match between Ricochet and Sami Zayn, which I don't have a problem with. I will take a match of both of them any day of the week, 3 times on Saturday and 5 times on Sunday. So the match begins with a lockup that Zayn turns into a side headlock. Zayn and Ricochet wrestle in PWG. As you can tell, he's already living his best life on commentary. Ricochet goes for a springboard off the top rope, but Zayn trips up the legs to send Ricochet crashing to the mat. Zayn goes up to the middle rope and hits a flying elbow and covers for a 2. Ricochet goes to the top and rope, but Zayn shoves him off and into the barricades from the top rope. Now, they actually mentioned PWG. I'm like, holy shit. They're acknowledging another promotion. So we come back from the commercial, live with Zayn going to the top rope and Ricochet hitting a drop kick as Zayn leaps off the top rope. Ricochet hits a springboard crossbody and makes the cover for 2. Ricochet goes for a standing moonsault, but Zayn brings his knees up to counter. Ricochet hits a side suplex, a super kick, and then climbs to the top rope. Jimmy Uso clutches to the apron to cause a distraction. Zayn hits a blue thunder bomb and covers, but Logan gets on the rope to distract the ref and prevents a 3 count. Ricochet hits a running knee and takes out Jimmy Uso on the apron with a drop kick. Zayn hits a suplex and covers, but for some reason Jey Uso slides in the ring, which distracts the ref. Sami Zayn, justifiably angry, and gets right in Jey Uso's face as Jimmy tries to calm them down. Ricochet hits a dive over the top to take out all three. Ricochet hits a shooting star press in the ring and covers for a 3. Winner is Ricochet. After the bell, the bloodline gets ready to jump in the ring, but Madcap Moss runs down to the ring with a chair in hand to make the save and cause the bloodline to leave. We come back from commercial with the introduction of Max and Maxine Dupree, who are in the ring. Max says, "We're in Anaheim, only a stone's throw away from LA." Max pauses for a minute, saying LA as he looks lost in thought. Max shakes it off and introduces Marseille and Mansois, who are modeling Maximum Male Models Back to School collection. Braun Strowman's music hits. Marseille and Mansour show priceless looks of pure terror on their faces. Strowman comes charging down the ramp, and he runs right over Marseille and Mansoir. Strowman throws Mansoir in the ring and power bombs Mansoir. Chad Gable comes out. Strowman looks behind him in the ring as he telegraphs the sneak attack, and then comes from Otis. Gable runs in the ring, and Otis and able to team up and beat down Strowman. Otis plants Strowman with a world's largest slam, and Gable and Otis leave the ring. Strowman jumps off the mat and tries to incite Otis to come back in the ring and fight him, but Gable makes sure Otis does not gets back in the ring. We go to commercial. We come back. We see live Damage Control in the ring. Bayley says she's back as SmackDown's role model. Dakota Kai says they are the women's tag team champions, meaning they could go to any brand and do whatever they want. Bayley says they have the power that nobody in the crowd will ever have. Raquel Gonzalez came out to the ring and she said they hurt her partner and are powerless from stopping from her getting her revenge. And this is the way she reacted. She acted like she wanted to kill somebody, and that's what I want from her. Not this bullshit like with the smiling, like, oh gee, Gallagher Whitakers. Yeah. No, I want a woman to come out and fucking kick ass and take names. So we have Raquel Rodriguez, versus Bayley. The match begins with a lockup, and Rodriguez immediately throws Bayley to the corner. Bayley slaps Rodriguez in the face and runs out of the ring. Rodriguez follows and takes out Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Back in the ring, Rodriguez hits a running splash in the corner and then throws Bayley head first to the top turnbuckle. Bayley hits a net breaker using the middle rope, which sends Rodriguez crashing outside of the ring. Rodriguez hits a big boot and drags Bayley to the corner. Rodriguez goes up top, but Bayley takes the advantage of a distraction from Kai and Sky to slam Rodriguez down. Rodriguez goes for a backslide, but Bayley kicks the back of Rodriguez's injured knee to break free. Rodriguez hits a shoulder tackle and then a fallaway slam. Rodriguez goes up top this time. Kai pulls Bayley outside the ring. Rodriguez drags Kai in and places her on top. Bayley hits a corkscrew elbow splash, which is legal somehow. Off the distraction from Kai, hits a rose plant and covers for a 3. Bayley picks up the win. After the bell, Damage Control begin to beat down Rodriguez. Then Shotzi, of all people, come running out to make the save as Damage Control leaves the ring. We have NXT North American Championship. Now, this makes absolutely no sense of what they did on Tuesday. So it wasn't legal. So now they're stripping him of the title. No, I don't know. Do you know how many times there was a fucking open challenge, or somebody went out and got the title match to begin with? Come on, people, we're not stupid. We have Solo Sequoia versus Madcap Moss. Our championship match begins with a lockup. Moss dodges a punch and locks in a waist lock. Moss hits a knee to the midsection, but Sequoia answers with a back elbow strike. Zane causes a distraction which allows Sequoia to take Moss out with a lariat. Sequoia throws Moss into the barricade and then hits a spinning heel kick back in the ring. Sequoia hits a belly to belly suplex. Moss hits a chop block to get Sequoia off his feet down to the mat. Moss hits a big lariat, then a face buster. Moss hits a running spear in the corner and then a second cornered spear. Sequoia hits Samoan drop and covers for a 2 count. Moss catches Sequoia in midair and hits a fallaway slam. Zane pulls Sequoia out of the ring. Moss chases Zane around the back of the ring, and Sequoia hits a super kick and covers for a 3 count. Winner Solo Sequoia. We go to a commercial break. We have Hit Row versus The New Day versus Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanna Vinci versus Butch and Ridge Holland. The match begins with Kaiser and Butch starting the match by throwing punches at each other frantically. Butch hits an enziguri that knocks Kaiser out of the ring. The fight spills outside and turns it into a brawl. Top Dollar goes to dive outside, but Vinci runs in to hit a chop block. Kofi hits a dive over the top rope to take the multiple wrestlers out. We come back from a break. The match continues with Kaiser hitting a kick to Butch's head. Kaiser locks in a chin lock, and Butch breaks free and hits a big lariat. Butch stomps on Kaiser's elbow and tags in Holland tags Holland in. Vinci makes the tag to Kaiser and hits Holland with an arm drag. Holland hits a belly to belly suplex and Top Dollar tags Vinci. Top Dollar hits Holland with a suplex and tags in Ashanti, who hits a dropkick to send Holland to the corner for Kingston to tag in. Kingston hits the boom drop, and Kaiser runs in to slam Kingston to the corner, allowing Vinci to make the legal tag. Back live with Holland and having Kingston in a chin lock onto the mat. Kingston crawls to the corner to tag Woods as Vinci also tags in. Woods hits running forearm, then hits Vinci with a side Russian leg sweep. Butch tags in and begins stomping Woods before taking out Vinci and Kaiser with a moonsault off the apron outside the ring. Butch hits a kick to the back of Ashanti's neck. Top Dollar gets in the ring and hits Butch with a big boot. Top Dollar catches Kingston and puts Butch on top and somehow catches Woods. Top Dollar marches around the ring before slamming all 3 wrestlers he was carrying. Rich Holland runs in and hits Top Dollar with an Alabama slam. Woods hits Ashanti with a super kick, and Kingston hits a flying crossbody. Kingston covers Butch and runs to break the 2 count at 2. Vinci tags in and tries to roll up Kingston for a 2. Vinci and Kaiser hit Imperial bombs, but Holland makes the blind tag. Holland runs in to toss Kaiser and Vinci out and covers Kingston for the 3. So we have Ridge, Holland, and Butch going to be taking on the Usos tonight. After the match, the Brawling Brutes are celebrating in the ring before SmackDown goes off the air. And in between that, there was a promo with Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and it was directed towards, obviously, Drew McIntyre. We're going to go right into Monday Night Raw. Monday's show kicked off with the U.S. Championship match: Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. We also saw match between Kevin Owens and Austin Theory. Tonight will also be interesting as Dexter Lumis makes his Miz TV debut. To start, we have Seth Rollins make his way down the ramp with San Jose crowd singing his theme song loudly. Next, Lashley comes down with a hot babyface pop. It's clear both men are soundly over with the WWE crowd. This has a big match feel to it already. The men start with a collar elbow tie up, with Lashley getting advantage. The crowd is still singing Rollins' theme very loudly. Rollins quickly takes it outside and back in to try to get the advantage on Lashley. He ends up knocking Lashley's head against the outside ring post and misses an opportunity for the hurt lock, leads into two super kicks by Rollins, who goes for a curb stomp right after. Lashley reverses it and takes the action outside and runs Rollins over. We head to our first commercial break. As we return, Rollins has a deep bicep maneuver hooked on Lashley. Lashley reverses it to roll up, but he only gets a two. Rollins continues attacking the bicep of Lashley. Lashley tries to suplex Rollins, but Rollins reverses it to attack Lashley over the ropes. This leads into a springboard knee to Lashley's temple. Rollins continues stretching out. Lashley finally gets out of it and tries to suplex out of it. Tries a suplex of Rollins, but Rollins flips Lashley over the ropes and continues the assault. After the second suicide dive, Lashley hauls up and Rollins throws him through the outside turnbuckle as we go to commercial. Come back, Lashley is attacking Rollins inside the ring up against the turnbuckle. Lashley really is starting to get some momentum going. A suplex lands to a near fall for Lashley. Lashley stays on the offense and gears up for a spear, but Rollins hits a knee right after. However, Lashley hits a move for another 2 count. This match has been great, with a lot of back and forth between the two men. Lashley heads to the top turnbuckle with Rollins for a possible superplex. Rollins actually reverses it to a buckle bomb. Rollins hits a big frog splash, but again for a near fall. Rollins then locks in a submission right in the middle of the ring. Lashley's bicep is getting stretched apart. Rollins really starts getting aggressive, elbowing Lashley to the head over and over. Rollins goes for the pedigree, but Lashley reverses it for a schoolboy pin, but only gets a 2 count. Lashley hits a running power slam and heads for another spear opportunity, but Rollins reverses it for a pedigree and a really close 2 count. Rollins attempts a stop, but Lashley gets a hurt lock on Rollins. Rollins is close to fading, but makes his way to the ropes and reverses it to a pin. Lashley somehow kicks out and maintains the grip, but lo and behold, Riddle off gets a but a low blow gets Riddle off of Lashley. Matt Riddle comes out to distract Rollins, who runs right into a spear from Lashley, and Lashley retains. Great match to open the show. So this is good. This is why they're going to be fighting at Extreme Rules. And an NXT match, nonetheless, which is Riddle's forte, which is the bit match. I'm glad that they're using it. You know, it's going to get people to go want to watch Extreme Rules. I know, what a concept. Like, we go to a package from Damage Control, highlight their WWE Women's Tag Team title win. We get the arrival of the women. We head to our next commercial break. We come back and we return from commercial. We have the entrance of Damage Control in a new vehicle coming down to the ring. The women have streamers coming into the ring. It should be noted that Bailey is from San Jose area, where they are tonight. Bailey gets some cheap heat with a sports reference to the Sharks not getting it done for the championship. Dakota Kai mentions that the women's division doesn't need Alexa Bliss, Asuka, or women's champion Bianca Belair. She says there is nothing else for those women to do but pack it up and go home. Belair and Asuka make their way to the ring. Belair says they weren't planning on coming to the ring with the heels started running and their mouths. Bailey and Alexa, she's nothing more than a shell of her former self. Alexa challenges Bailey to a match and then attacks Bailey. We probably get their match later on. No, it's next week. I think it's next week. I, I was paying attention, but I wasn't paying attention. As we return from commercial, we get the Kevin Owens and Austin Theory match. Theory starts ultra aggressive and before the bell rings, attacks Owens on the outside. Owens staggers to his feet and makes his way inside the ring. The match starts and Owens takes down Theory and starts laying into him, but Theory quickly turns the tables, stopping Owens in the corner turnbuckle, and the action spills on the outside where Theory throws Owen up against the table. Before Owens can get thrown into the steps, he reverses it and throws Theory into the steps. However, Theory starts another brutal attack as we move to a commercial break. When we come back, we have Owens is really taking it to Theory after a 10 count to the head on the turnbuckle. Owens goes for a cannonball but misses as Theory moves out of the way. Austin Theory then goes for a sleeper submission and a quick pin, but it only gets a 1 count. Theory gets back on the offense, however, it continues on the neck of Owens. A DDT gets Owens a little breathing room, but he struggles to get to his feet. Owens starts taking it to Theory again and gets a 2 count after a brutal lariat. Owens misses a pop-up powerbomb and a stunner. Theory goes on the quick offense, but not for long. Owens goes to the top turnbuckle and hits a swanton bomb, but only for a 2 count. After a brawl on the turnbuckle, Owens goes for a dive, but misses and Theory capitalizes. He gets back in back to back. He gets back to back 2 counts and then a third, but Owens continues to kick out. Out of nowhere, Johnny Gargano appears holding the briefcase and smiles at Theory. Owens smashes Theory with a cannonball and pop-up powerbomb afterwards and gets a 1-2-3. After the match, Gargano is still holding the briefcase and drops it on Theory below the belt. This may be the tease for the future match for the briefcase for the two men. Yeah, that's the only way that we can get it off of him. Which he shouldn't even have it on in the first place. We get back from commercial and we have a recap of the Judgment Day and Matt Riddle interaction from last week. Then we see Riddle walking in the back with Kevin Patrick interviewing him. Riddle cuts him off and tells that he's going to hunt Rollins down until he gets his rematch. Patrick informs us that we are going to get Rey Mysterio and Matt Riddle versus the Judgment Day later in the night. Riddle says he owes it to Rey after last week and vows to take out the Judgment Day for a legend. We head to another commercial break. When we come back, we have a recap of SmackDown segment where Logan Paul and Paul Heyman make their match official for the undisputed World Universal Championship. Next, we get the entrance of the Brawling Brutes with a special Monday Night Raw segment. Butch and Ridge Holland come down, challenge the Usos for the tag team titles. They are cut off by the Street Profits. They cut a promo, and they're challenged by the Brawling Brutes for a match. Why is fucking the Street Profits and the New Day involved in all of this? I mean, it's the same shit. You have 3 fucking tag teams on the top of the card, and then you wonder why there's nobody coming up. Where's the Los Lotharios? Where's the Viking Raiders are not going to be anywhere near the tag team titles? It's because Ivar's foot is injured. So we get this match, and it kicks off the Street Profits really showing their athleticism and even getting a quick near fall. Butch and Ford go back and forth with some really nice offenses for each. Ford hits a great drop kick and tags in Dawkins. Butch kicks out at two with a double team move. Butch shows off his technical mastery by attacking all of joints of Dawkins that he can't get his hands on. Holland Holland and Dawkins then share a back and forth before Dawkins gets tagged in immediately. Hits an area move for a 2 count. The two men go back and forth until Holland lays a lariat into the chest of Ford and immediately tags in Butch for more attack. Butch gets a lot of offense in before tagging back out, and Holland continues striking Ford. Both Holland and Butch get Ford stuck on the ropes on the outside and chop and punch Ford's chest and eventually knock him off the apron. We head to break after the commercial. Butch is still attacking Ford, really twisting him every which way. Butch and Holland continue their dominance on the Street Profits. Ford finally getting a chance for a tag after hitting a DDT on Butch. He finally gets a hot tag to Dawkins as Butch tags in Holland. Dawkins clears house and hits a double underhook swinging neck breaker. He gets a 2 count on that move, but continues good work on the inside. A nice double team move by Holland and Butch gets them back on top. A near fall gives them more momentum. Butch locks in a triangle choke on Dawkins, but Dawkins sends up and Ford gets a tag in to hit a huge avalanche blockbuster. This is only this only gets a 2 as Holland comes in to make the save at 2. All four men get in the ring, but Profits knock them out, and Ford hits a huge dive outside. As Ford is going for another avalanche brainbuster to Holland, Butch stops him and snaps Ford's fingers. This leads to Holland hitting a move. Butch gets the pinfall victory. They really need help in the tag team division because this is not good. Up next, we get a recap of everything that has happened the past few weeks with Edge, Dominic Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio, and the Judgment Day. Ray is then in the back being interviewed, and Ray says he can't help but think if he paid more attention to Dominic resentment, he could have stopped Judgment's Day. He asks he isn't even going to give up on his son. He says everything he's done in his world has been for Dominic, and that his future legacy is carrying on the Mysterio name, but it only if he wants to. Riddle comes in to somewhat comfort Ray as we go to commercial break. I'm loving this whole thing with Dominic and Rhea. I'm loving it. It's it's unfortunately activating my Cougar card, but what the fuck? We get back from commercial. We have Johnny Gargano and the Alpha Academy cutting a promo. Gable says he has a problem with Johnny, but Kevin Owens comes to help Johnny out. He says if there's a problem with Johnny, then there's a problem with him. Gable challenges Owens and Gargano to a tag team match next week, which is in Edmonton, Canada. Up next, we have Judgment Day come out for a quick promo before a tag team match. Rhea says last week they took out everyone in front of them, and now that they run Monday Night Raw, she says now Dominic's by their side. No one's going to stop them because he's now all man. Yeah, I bet you he's all man. For the love of God, 25 fucking years old, and I'm 40. Finn chimes in to say Dom is a man, a brave one, in fact. He says it takes a lot to stand up to someone else, but even more to stand up to their father. Priest says he loves Dominic, a man who no longer walks in a shadow He says Dom is there standing tall while Edge is standing not isn't standing at all. They continue to talk about Edge, then Rhea tells Dom that Poppy is very proud of him. The crowd will absolutely not let Dominic speak. As he finally does, he says he's very proud as well. He says he couldn't be prouder to be standing beside his real family. Oh. Dominic, we've got some issues here, okay? We got to deal with this. I have high blood pressure right now. You're not helping it. Judgment Day. Finn says they need to capture this moment with a family photo. They take a picture as Finn then starts to bash San Jose. Shortly after, Matt Riddle and Rey Mysterio make their way to the ring. We will get to the commercial. We'll get to the match after we get back from commercial. So the match starts with Finn and Riddle going collar elbow, with Balor taking Riddle to the turnbuckle. Between Balor and Priest, they keep Riddle away from Mysterio. However, Riddle's family finally hits a reversal and gets momentum going. Mysterio gets a tag and gets a quick pinfall attempt for two. Balor gets a tag into into Priest, who goes to town on Mysterio. Balor comes in to continue the beatdown with some outside trash talk from Rhea and Dominic. Ray desperately needs a hot tag to Riddle, but can't get out of the half of the ring surrounded by Judgment Day. The counter to three amigos gets Ray to Riddle, and Riddle goes to work on Balor. Riddle gets a 2 count on Balor before heading to the top for a floating bro. But Balor moves out of the way. Balor then gets some double team offense with with Priest. Priest hits a variation of South of Heaven to the apron as we go into commercial. When we got back, we have Rhea on the outside attack Riddle. He gets thrown back in for another 2 count. Judgment Day keeps the ring split in half, attacking Riddle. Riddle finally hits a bro to sleep and makes his way to Mysterio for another hot tag. Mysterio and Balor Mysterio goes for a high risk maneuver. Mysterio finally gets his momentum halted. However, he reverses it for a potential 619, but gets pulled out. He gets back in the ring. However, hits a 619 to Balor, but Ripley distracts Mysterio and the referee. This leads to Seth Rollins attacking Riddle. Ray runs off Rollins with a chair, but Dominic comes over. Dominic gives himself up for Ray to hit him with a chair, but can't. He gets in the ring instead and eats a choke slam from Priest and a coup de grace. This is enough for the pinfall win for the Judgment Day. Excellent match. Excellent match. I'm loving this whole Judgment Day. I am this fucking close buying their t-shirt. Up next, we have a recap of last week, Miz and Marie's segment with Dexter Lumis. We have Miz coming up after the commercial break. We come back, we have Riddle and Rollins in a huge fight. Rollins tells Riddle anytime, any place, and they'll fight. It looks like we're going to get this match soon. Mysterio starts up, and Miz goes off about Dexter Lumis. He says his little girl's birthday, he punched a minion in because he thought it was Lumis, was in one of the costumes. From underneath the ring, Lumis seems to be cutting the ring from the bottom. There is a hole in the ring, and Lumis pulls Miz all the way below the ring. But Miz escapes. Miz and Ciampa leave the ring as Lumis stares them down going up the ramp. We head to commercial. Next week, we have a tag team match with the Alpha Academy versus Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens. Also, we have Priest versus Matt Riddle. In the back, Judgment Day are celebrating their win. Dominic makes a comment that he needs to go out with Priest. He has a new mommy to celebrate with. Balor sees AJ Styles in the back and asks if he is ignoring him. He says no, that they haven't talked because he joined Judgment Day. Styles says he has no interest. Balor asks Styles if he's looking for a fight, but says no, that he's not looking for a fight. He tells Styles the offer to join Judgment Day is always stands while throwing up the too sweet hand gesture. Oh, please, please, let's see. And AJ Styles be all goth like. Oh my God. Talking about a thirst trap. Up next, we have our main event for the night: Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Oh, so it was later in the night. You could see I wasn't even I didn't even care about this match, honestly. It should be noted that Asuka and Bianca Belair are on the outside of the ring for Alexa, and Damage Control are out there for Bayley. Start the match, Bayley gets Alexa to the corner turnbuckle and tries getting in some quick offense, but Bliss reverses it and takes control. Bayley, however, starts getting some offense in and working over Alexa. After about 5 minutes, Alexa starts getting some offense with a reversal of a sleeper and a bulldog variant to the ropes. However, Bayley gets back in the momentum and goes after the knees of Alexa Bliss right in front of Asuka and Bianca Belair. The action continues outside at the announce table. Bayley picks up Alexa and on the announce table, but Alexa gets a reversal and dive off the table to knock Bayley down. Before our last commercial break, we get back. Bayley starts targeting Alexa's name. Bliss does some wait, Bliss does get some offense in and even a 2 count, but it's obvious her knee is bothering her. The two women share roll up pins, but none of them work for the win. Bayley goes for the Bayley to belly, but only gets a 2 count. Bayley goes for another pin and puts her feet on the ropes, but Bianca Belair knocks them off, and we get action on the outside between Damage Control, Asuka, and Belair. The DDT leads to Bliss' attempt at the top rope, but she knocks off by Io Sky. This leads to a rose plant and the 1-2-3 Damage Control. Then take out Asuka, but then Bianca Belair comes in to take down Bayley. However, the numbers game comes into effect, and the heels go out on top. And I'm shocked. Oh my God. Bayley wins in her hometown. If we had Vince McMahon in charge, she would have lost. She would have lost. Hands down, she would have lost. Going right into NXT. The show opens with a recap of last week's main event. We get footage of Solo Sikoa and Carmelo Hayes meeting with the Heartbreak Man. Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid, whatever. HBK says the result of the North American Championship title match from last week can't stand because the match wasn't officially sanctioned, and will have to relinquish the title. Michaels wishes him the best of luck on SmackDown, and he leaves. I don't understand this. Have the fucking title on him. He could do Tuesday and Friday, right? Right. Have that title on fucking the main card. He goes and he defends it in a ladder match. He doesn't get pinned. Somebody else grabs the title, and that's how it goes. Do I have to do your job, Mr. Michaels? Do I have to do your fucking job? I think you need to go sit with the Vince McMahon in the nursing home somewhere in Connecticut. You leave the fucking title on him. Do you know how many times that this was done? Seriously, people. Oh my God. Please. Sean, step away from the pencil. Hire Ryan Ward back. You don't belong in creative. So Mello asks for his title back, and Sean says he tried a dirty thing, so he's not just getting the title back at Halloween Havoc. But why? But why? This makes no sense. There were so many other weird. There could have been a multi-woman match. There could have been a multi-man, and then it would. Oh Lord, he could have held it to fucking Halloween Havoc. What's the problem? What's the problem? That. Oh, why? Why? I don't understand. They could have waited to Halloween Havoc. He would have competed in the ladder match. He wouldn't have never gotten pinned. He would have been able to go to SmackDown without a title. It would have cross promotion because they're rebranding the fucking goddamn show. Oh my god. Some way, somehow, if Adam Cole finds this out, he's gonna be pissed. So I guarantee you he would have had the same fucking mindset. Have it he wouldn't be wrestling that much. He would be wrestling in like a 6-man or regular tag team. He wouldn't have fucking goddamn got pinned on SmackDown. They would have cross promote. They could have said, well, you could see Solo Sikoa hopefully retain his title on Halloween Havoc, and you can watch it on Peacock. See him on there. He would have drove the thing up. Yes, I know. Trust me, I know. But we bleed green in this house. Seriously. So they're going to have a ladder match in Halloween Havoc, and people are going to qualify and whatnot. I think it's either a 5 or a 6. I'm not 100% sure because I did not listen. So we go to our first match of the evening. So we have Axiom versus Nathan Frazier, best of 3 series, match 2. This reminds me a lot of Sheamus and Cesaro. This has the feelings of that. Fast pace in the feelings out, training pin predicaments to no avail. Frazier with a headlock, off shot, shoulder block, big Larry cover for 2. Grinding Axiom down with a head scissors. He comes off the top with a crossbody, and Nathan cuts him out of the air with drop kicks that send us to break. Back from commercial, Frazier has a waist lock in trying to grind him down. Axiom fights out. Octopus block Nathan with a cobra twist, and Axiom hip tosses his way out of it. Whip across slingshot, hot shot, springboard lariat connects. Nope. Kick in the corner, jockeying for position. Avalanche hip toss from Axiom. Still no. Axiom counters a dive into a sleeper hold. Frazier gets to his feet, so he switches to a guillotine choke. Shift to an plancha, and Nathan gets the ropes to break the hold. Up top, Frazier with a suplex rolled through into a final cut. Up top again. Frazier wins by pinfall with a Phoenix splash, evening the series up 1-1, ensuring a rubber match. This, I swear, has Cesaro and Sheamus. I put these two together. Go get a run at the tag team titles. Put them with versus Gallus. Hit them with who else is there? Oh, you lucky son of a gun. I'm trying not to curse, but what the hell? You were at Cardiff? Oh my god, you must. I am telling you, you guys, I was so fucking jealous hearing Alter Bridge's theme song with Edge. Holy shit, you're dedicated. So you're in England. Do you live in England, or do you did you live someplace else? Because I'm not 100% sure. So you flew into wait, I live a few miles, a few hundred miles away. Oh, in England. Okay. Yeah, okay. You do live in England. And I wanted to send my condolences out to your queen. Long live the King of England, which is King Charles III. My condolences. I know you guys are still mourning and you are, it's the loss of your leader, but my condolences. Yeah, I wish that would happen to our government. I hate my leader. I hate him. So, anywho, we get Alba Fire vignette about she's coming for Mandy Rose, NXT Women's Champion. Toxic Attraction makes their entrance as we go to break. Back from commercial, we get Damon Kemp vignette about costing the Creed brothers the tag team titles. He admits that he's been on the take from Tony D'Angelo, and he says he'll fight either Creed one on one anytime, as long as the other is in the locker room. Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley are in the locker room getting ready for their match. Tatum urges Ivy to be focused and says she is. We like Biden, but but let's not get into politics. Absolutely. But you can see where I'm going, right? So we have Ivy Niles, Tatum Paxley versus Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan, and JCJ. Paxley and Dolan to start. Gigi takes control and takes Jade in to work over her. Whip reverse, big back elbow. JC tags back out. Short whip into a boot. A near fall. Tatum gets away and tags in Nile. Jay back in as well. Ivy throwing right hands and kicks. Insecurity staggers JC. Running kick, press the attack. Paxley tries to save, but she's too late. Toxic Attraction won by pinfall. We see the Schism walking outside to send us to break. Back from commercial break, we see Tyler Bate and JD McDonald arriving in the arena. The Schism are in the ring and get on the mic. They say that the time has come to pick a side. They're no longer turn the other cheek. And if you're not sitting at the shade under the tree, you've been warned. But those enlightening few who choose to walk alongside them to break the status quo, you have nothing to fear. They'll never abandon you. They'll hold you tight in their arms. Joe Gacy, whether you accept them or not, you'll see the world through their eyes. And they have been more than patient with Cameron Grimes. He tried to reason and compassion, but this world only responds to a firm hand. Adris Enifi and Malachi Blade come down and attack the Schism, laying them out. So this actually sends us to a match. Um, could this work on the main roster? They could do a couple of little tweaks here and there, but this is too much like they're in a cult. They're like they don't see anything above what they're going through, but they can tweak it, obviously. So we have Fowler and Blade to start. Malik with an initial rally, but Rip takes control with a wrist lock. Tag to Enifi, leaping lariat 42, holding his own. Tag to Blade, diving crossbody takes them both out. Then throws a rope. He throws a tope con hero onto the dyad, and we go to break. Back from commercial, Blade with right hands to Reed, whip reverse, blind tag to Fowler, and Malik gets dumped to the floor. The Schism hugged and Dyad to go back to working Blade over. He goes up. goes up and over and tags Enefi in. Spinning Bulldog running hot. Rip takes a jawbreaker, but Malik is back in. Assisted leg lariat. Nope. Fowler nearly takes it. Jagger with a step up rolling lung blower. Follow it up. The Dyad pin wins by pinfall with Ticket to Mayhem. So I hate this. I hate that they took it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I loved Grizzly Young Veterans. I love them. They were like that. They were what they perceived. The grizzled young veterans. The sad part of it is that me and them are about the same age, and I cannot believe like people are saying, "Oh, I've been in the business for 19 years or 20 years," and they're my age, which fucking wakes me out here. You have no idea how crazy that is. It ages me. I'm 40 years old. I've been watching wrestling since I'm 3 months. Exactly. It was a very seamless transition. They should have taken two guys that are up and coming and put them in the dyad. Very simple. Very fucking simple. But what do I know, right? It just doesn't make sense. So we get a recap of the Super Diva, Quincy Elliott debut from last week. We go to break. This guy, he reminds me of Goldust, Velveteen Dream, and whom else? Gorgeous George. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want a fucking NXT version of Sunny Kiss in my fucking wrestling. No way. No. Just it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. They did this once. Uh, that him too. You could throw Viscera in too. Dear Jesus, give me the strength. So we come back from a commercial. Roxanne Perez gets a promo talking about her match against Mako Satomura a couple of weeks ago and says the next time she meets Cora Jade, she's going to fight a tougher, more determined Roxanne Perez. So we have Cora Jade versus Wendy Chu. Cora Chu with a side headlock, reversed with a head scissors to the floor. She goes for a baseball slide, but Jay cuts her off and comes back with a stomp. Hard whip cover for two. Cora moves into a Japanese stranglehold, slings her off, right hand to the back breadbasket, a kick to the lariat. Whip across overhead, belly to belly suplex, waist lock, German suplex connects. Jay gets an opening. Cora Jade wins by pinfall with a DDT. Post match, Lash Legend slides into the ring and lays Chu out with a boot. Braun Breaker is interviewed backstage. He thanks the NXT universe for voting him Superstar of the Year and says Tyler Bate has speed, agility, and power, whereas JD McDonald can pick a body part and take you apart. Forced to pick, he has Tyler Bate winning because he can't wait to run that match back again. Trick Williams gives Carmelo Hayes a pep talk backstage as we go to break. We come back, we get a hype reel for Oro Mensah. So he's being interviewed backstage. He says he came to NXT to face the best, and Grayson Waller is one of them. He says Oro means gold, and he's from Ghana, the land of gold. He's going to qualify for the ladder match tonight. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams get on the mic in the ring. Hayes says, title or no title, he's one of the best, biggest stars in NXT. And what happened last week only proves it. And he wants the person who played the music, ring the bell, and wants the referee that counted to three lose their jobs right now. He doesn't care about the bloodline Solo comes from. This is his house, and no matter how you flip it, he's still the A champion. Enter Andre Chase, flanked by Bodie Hayward and Thea Hale. He says he saw that what happened last week, and he thinks we've got a. He says, yells at him to stop, saying, "Now is not the time." Chase plows ahead, but Trick cuts him off this time. Andre goes for it once more and says it's a teachable moment and decks Hayes with a right hand. Carmelo bails, takes the shirt off, and a referee slides in, and Trick is game to fight. So we have Carmelo Hayes versus Trick. Carmelo Hayes versus Andre Chase for the chance to go into the ladder match at Halloween Havoc. Chase with a hip toss. Carmelo's in, so I guess this actually is a tag. Big chop. Oh, I guess it wasn't. I thought it was. Tag, but to Bodie. And they lay Mello out with elbows. Williams in, getting worked over, chops for right hands. Side Russian leg sweep from Andre. He fired up CHASEU. Chomps, stomps to Hayward. Bodie gets Trick in the Argentine backbreaker rack, but Hayes tags in blind springboard lariat. Chase tags in big slam, goes up top, cut off Carmelo in pump kick side press. Chase did it. Chase U wins by pinfall with a side press from Andre Chase on Carmelo. We see Sanga and Von Wagner walking backstage to send us to break. Come back and we have Briggs and Jensen to confront Gallus backstage. Gallus are playing cards and the American boys want in. The bicker security separates them. Thank you, APA. Sanga versus Von Wagner. Curling punches and kicks. Sanga reverses a whip but runs into a back elbow. Big lariat from the big Indian. Wagner slips out of slam and corners with body blows. Sanga blocks punches and throws his own, knocking Wagner out of the ring. Following out after him, big lariat. Stone dives into a goozle, but Von saves his buddy. Putting Sanga into the post, throwing him back inside. Wagner off the ropes, big boot, fireman's carry. Wagner wins by pinfall, fireman's carry, neck breaker. We get a Wesley vignette where he talks about being cleared for action and ready to fight and qualify for the ladder match. He was given the option to get a bye into the match, but he doesn't roll like that. Channing Stacks Lorenzo is interviewed. He mocks West for not taking the bye, and next week, Tony D'Angelo is going to wipe him out in his qualifying match. Grayson Waller makes his entrance, and we go to break. Back from commercial, we get a promo from Cameron Grimes. He tells Joe Gacy preaches about peace and compassion. But next week, he won't find any of that because he's going to the moon. Grayson Waller versus Ora Mensa for the ladder match to get qualified to go in there. Waller pops Messiah in the jaw, whip, drop, down, hammer, lariat, wrist lock. Oro rolls through Grayson, reverses to an armbar. Messiah out, hammering Waller with forearms into the corner. Big knee off the rope, pump kick, dodge, electric chair, drop connects. Handful of Orza's hair driving his knee into the back repeatedly. Grayson goes for a cover, only two. Stepping on the side of Messiah's neck, whip across, duck a lariat. Sunset flip, blocked elbow drop across the back of his neck and raining forearms down on his shoulders. Mensah fighting hammer and anvil elbows from Waller can't keep him down. Fireman's carry. Oro slips out more forearms. Grayson with a front kick and a whip. Duck a lariat. Flying forearms. Mensah whip. A reverse, but he lands a picture perfect Cabrera. Pump handle denied. Kick blocked, but he rolls through into a rolling kick up. Hanging Orzo's neck over the top rope. Waller changes, charges out. Charges but stops short when Apollo Crews appears out of nowhere. Messiah with a dive, throwing Grayson back in, lining him up. Messiah wins by pinfall with a spinning wheel kick, qualifying for the North American Championship at Halloween Havoc. Post match, we see Apollo Crews crying blood. We go backstage with the Creed brothers who are arguing over who gets to fight Damon Kemp. And Julius gives in and lets Brutus have him as long as he promises to end his career. Bronson makes his entrance with Landon, the Conqueror Chase, one of the Connor's Cure Kids, as we go to break. Back from commercial, we get another solo Soul Ruka vignette. Promise that we'll see her next week. Commentary hypes up next week's card. J.D. McDonald, Tyler Bate, number one contender for the NXT Championship. I don't understand. Just make it a fucking triple threat. Just end it all. We start with collar elbow. McDonald with a wrist lock. Bate tries to roll through, but JD takes him right back down. Schoolboy from Tyler. Cross armbar kick out. Whip across. Knee lift. Bate diving uppercut. Airplane spin. Trading pins. Bate with an electric chair spin out. Victory roll. No. A little more back and forth as we go to break. Back from commercial, McDonald has a Boston Crab in shifting to waist clutch kick to the head. Bate digs in and blocks hard whip sends JD over the ropes and to the floor. Off the ropes with a big tope from the big strong boy. Big exploder suplex back inside. Running shooting star press. So close. Wrist clutch toe kicks, uppercut, sidestep, the charge. Argentina backbreaker, rack flip into a fireman's carry, airplane spin, whip into the corner, flare flip, low bridge sends Bate crashing to the floor. Penalty kick off the apron, dives, follows up, throwing Tyler back inside. 450 splash, no. Raid Buster follows, still no. Tyler throwing jabs, trading punches with abandon. JD staggers, but he fights out of the underhook off the ropes. Rebound. Lariat reverses into a Spanish fly, but Bate gets a desperate jab, and both men are down and out. Up top, McDonald cuts him off, jockeying for position. Avalanche Spanish fly. JD yanks him up. JD wins by pinfall with the Saito suplex to become number one contender, and it's also called the Devil Inside. That hurts. So we have Braun Breaker and JD McDonald stare at each other. We have a returning Ilya Dragunov coming back, and we're going to throw another fucking card to the NXT Championship. On to Rampage from last week. Why did I do that? Results. Rampage from last week. We start off with Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was an innovator long before Darby Allin was, said Tony Schiavone. Darby used a side headlock takeover on Matt. Matt Hardy retaliated by wrenching Darby's arm over Matt's shoulder. These guys are feeling each other out here, said Jericho. Darby jumped in onto Hardy and tried to pin him with a crucifix. Hardy escaped. Darby shoved Hardy into the steel ring steps. Darby climbed to the top rope and went for a senton, but Hardy dodged it. Darby crashed hard into the ring apron with nothing to break the fall. It was all crash and burn, said Ross. Hardy hoisted up Darby and powerbombed him against the steel ring post. Darby charged at Hardy inside the ring and coffin splashed him in the corner. Hardy planted Darby with a side effect for a 2 count. Darby reversed the twist of fate with a backslide for a near fall. These are great pro wrestlers right here, said Ross. Hardy used the BT bomb on Darby for a 2 count. They climbed to the top turnbuckle. Hardy flipped backwards with a moonsault press, but Darby moved out of the way. Darby hit the code red and then spinned Hardy after applying the Last Supper. Both men pushed each other on the to the limit, said Shivani. After the match, the arena lights went dark. When the lights were turned back on, Brody King and Julia Hart of the House of Black are inside the ring. Brody hit Hardy with a lariat. Brody called Darby and Sting to come out to the ring. Darby and Sting walked onto the ramp. Brody challenged Darby and Sting to a match next week against the House of Black with a no DQ match. The challenges has been made and the challenge has been accepted, said Excalibur. Wow, that's wow, cool. And if I keep going down here, I can't see the um the the chat here because my eyes are so I have very bad vision. That's why I have my glasses. So I if you see my phone, the text is a little bit bigger because when I don't have my glasses on, I'm as blind as a bat. Next up, Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta were in the ring to be interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Claudio, this championship represents honor, while the Blackpool Combat Club is the new symbol of excellence. It's a team, it's a family, and we make each other better. The best lessons in life you learn they when you lose. And I know Wheeler Yuta will get back up and win his ROH Pure Championship back. And last Friday, I defended my championship against one of the toughest opponents I have ever had, Dax Hardwood. And this Wednesday, it'll be two members of the Blackpool Combat Club against each other for the AEW World Championship, John Moxley and Brian Danielson. Chris Jericho walked down the ramp and interrupted Claudio. Jericho, have you forgotten about the Jericho Appreciation Society? I've been watching you for week in and week out. And yes, I'm 7-time world champion, and I should be competing for the AEW World Championship this Wednesday. And it's not because I tapped out. Yes, you tapped out. Jericho, I've been world champion in WWF, WWE, WCW, and the first AEW world champion. But one place I've never been world champion is Ring of Honor. And and seven isn't enough for me. Man, I'm going for the Ocho, and that's why I'm challenging you for the Ring of Honor World Championship this Wednesday at Grand Slam. You and me. Claudio. Chris, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. For a long, long time. So Chris, you're on. But I'm going to beat the hell out of you. I've got to answer a text. I am sorry, people. Sorry. it Family stuff. I had to answer it. TBS champion Jade Cargill was backstage with the baddies. Now she thinks that she's the female Rock. No, and she's not a attraction. She should be wrestling every fucking week, putting this title on the line on TBS every fucking week. This should not be an issue. So Lexi Nail was interviewing Jade when they were interrupted by Diamante. Diamante, Jade, if you want competition, all you needed to do was ask. How about next week in New York? Diamante pulling up, and she showing up with the baddest bitch from the 305. Willow Nightingale and Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian. Yeah, Ford should be on Dynamite. All these women, but we're gonna see the same shit. Wait, if they don't fucking book the women's division the way it should be booked, get rid of the women's division in AEW. There's no hope. Ford shoved at Willow, but Willow hit a shoulder tackle. Willow put on a side headlock. Penelope escaped and booted Willow in the midsection. Willow grabbed an inside cradle for a near fall. Willow hit a diamond crossbody for a 2 count. Penelope avoided a pounce. Penelope launched off the middle rope with a diving knee attack on Willow. Willow rocked Penelope with a spinebuster and tried to pin Penelope. Penelope back bridged then hit a stunner on Willow out of nowhere. Willow hit the pounce on Penelope. Penelope applied the Indian deathlock and forced Willow to tap out. So she made a fucking former NWA Women's Tag Team Champion tap out. Whatever at this point. Danhausen versus all ego Ethan Page. Danhausen mocked Ethan Page. It didn't take long for Page to mount Danhausen and ground and pound him. Page hit a shoulder tackle and finished off Danhausen with an ego's edge to score him. A great first outing for the firm, and said Excalibur. Backstage, Absolute Ricky Starks said he was talking was over. Starks looked into the camera and told Powerhouse Hobbs that Hobbs now has his full undivided attention, and I will see you personally in New York City. Main event, Ring of Honor World TV title match. Samoa Joe versus Josh Woods. Samoa Joe and Woods chain wrestled to start the match. Things quickly broke down as both men pounded each other with forearms. Woods blocked a headbutt from Joe. As ref Paul Turner was distracted, Tony Nese wrenched at Samoa Joe's arm. Josh pumped kicked Joe in the shoulder. Samoa Joe looked to make Josh Woods pay with a sleeper. Woods transitioned under with a suplex for a 2 count on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe took Woods off his feet with a high boot and followed up with a senton for a 2 count. Joe was hurting with all this damage done to his arm, said Excalibur. Joe smashed Woods with a power slam. Sterling distracted Samoa Joe long enough for Woods to blast Samoa Joe with a knee strike. Samoa Joe nailed Josh with an STO. Samoa Joe crunched Woods with the muscle buster and then pinned Woods. After the match, Nese blindsided Samoa Joe. Nese and Woods double teamed Samoa Joe until the TNT champion Wardlow ran out to make the save. Wardlow is about to powerbomb Sterling until Nese pulled Sterling from the ring. So that is that. We have Dynamite Grand Slam results. Tonight's Grand Slam is taking place at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York. We start off with Ring of Honor World Championship match. Claudio Castagnoli versus the Wizard, Chris Jericho. Ring of Honor Ian Riccaboni joins the broadcast team for this match. After some reluctant reluctantless. Chris Jericho finally adhered to the code of honors. Handshake. Claudio badged up, badgered up. Claudio badgered Jericho with European uppercuts. Claudio connected with a high boot, which sent Jericho over the top rope and onto the arena floor. Jericho jumped off the top rope but ate a European uppercut from Claudio for his efforts. Jericho hit Claudio in the throat with a chop. Claudio fired back with a European uppercut. They traded shots on the ring apron. Jericho suplexed Claudio onto the arena floor. Jericho attempted a Hurricane Rana off the top rope. Claudio a tried to counter, but Jericho reversed the avalanche Ricola bomb. Jericho lined up Claudio for a code breaker, but Claudio countered with a European uppercut. Claudio hit a double foot stomp for a near fall. Claudio locked up the sharpshooter. Jericho made it to the ropes, which forced the ref to break the hold. Jericho was looking for a low blow, but Claudio blocked it and hit a Ricola bomb for a near fall. Claudio attempted a springboard uppercut, but Jericho countered with a code breaker for a near fall. Chris has done his job of scouting Claudio immensely, said Stas. The fans chant, "This is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome." Jericho locked in the walls of Jericho, but Claudio rolled through. Claudio captured the wrist and stomped on Jericho's jaw. Claudio picked up Jericho with a giant swing. Claudio knocked Jericho for a loop with a lariat. Jericho grabbed his baseball bat while the ref was distracted. He swung it, but Claudio blocked it while the ref had her back turned. Jericho connected with a low blow and then a Judas effect to pin Claudio. Chris Jericho is the new Ring of Honor World Champion. The Jericho Appreciation Society came out to congratulate Chris Jericho on his victory. Notable on Ring of Honor Pure Champion Daniel Garcia, who gave Jericho an ambiguously reluctant high five. AEW World Tag Team Match. Swerve in Our Glory, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee versus The Acclaim, Platinum, Max Caster, and Anthony Bowens. Bowens tried a single leg takedown on Keith Lee, and Lee blocked it and tossed Bowens aside. Keith Lee took down Bowens with a Hurricane Rana. Bowens cannot believe what just happened, nor can I, said Taz. Swerve tagged in and blasted The Acclaim with a dropkick. Caster power slammed Swerve. Caster hit a brainbuster on Keith Lee. Bowens tagged in and cleaned house on Lee and Strickland. Swerve kicked out Bowens' knee. Bowens knuckle bombed Swerve, but Lee was there to headbutt Bowens. Lee hurled Bowens over the top rope onto the ground. Keith Lee attempted a moonsault, but Caster rolled out of the way. Thank God Caster was able to get uh, out of the way there. What a match, says Taz. Swerve grabbed The Acclaim boombox and tried to hit them with but inadvertently hit Keith Lee. Caster tried for a mic drop but tweaked his knee on the way down. Swerve caught Caster on the jaw with a backwards kick. Caster came back with a superplex. A suplex, Jesus Christ, I can't even read today, to Swerve. Caster climbed to the top rope, but Swerve met him up there. Swerve sent Caster flying while Lee pounced Caster on the mat. Swerve powerbombed Caster for a near fall. Swerve wiped out The Acclaim with a 450 leg drop to the outside. Billy smashed Swerve with a famouser on the outside. Bowens hit an anvil, hit the arrival, and Caster used the mic drop on Swerve. Caster pinned Swerve, and The Acclaim are new champions. Right now, the world belongs to Matt Caster and Anthony Bowens. Look at the disappointment on the face of Keith Lee, added Taz. I'm going to sit and say something about this team. I'm just wigged out about this whole scissor thing. All right. Sorry, more family drama. Sorry. Tony Schiavone was about to interview Wheeler Yuta when MJF interrupted the two of them. MJF, cut my music. The devil has arrived since you all worship the ground I walk on. That makes you all my loyal devil worshippers. Wheeler, you seem confused because you've never seen a reaction like this. I am a god to these people. I'm a generational talent. Yuta, Max, you have more catchphrases than friends. You got engaged recently. She's smart, maybe too smart because maybe she's already figured out that you are a piece of garbage. And she's going to walk out on you just like you walked out on all of us. MJF, your friends, the Blackpool Combat, your friends, the Blackpool Combat Cock, are fighting for the world title tonight. They're fighting to lose the championship to me. Yuta heard enough of MJF and struck him. MJF headbutted Yuta and then shoved Tony Schiavone. Yuta took down MJF until W. Morrissey grabbed Yuta from behind. MJF decked Yuta with a dynamite diamond ring. And before this, they went, "Oh, you're gonna take advice on how to um, get injury prone because of Daniel Brian Danielson." And then he went on to William Regal by popping pills because he had a drug addiction. I would have cringed to think what he would have said about Moxley. I don't think he's that stupid. AEW All Atlantic Championship match. The Bastard Pack versus our freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy threw his sunglasses at Pac. Orange went for an orange punch, but Pac quickly rolled out of the ring. Pac nailed Orange with a shotgun dropkick and then hammered him in the corner with stomps. Pac whipped Orange into the steel ring post. Orange skull collided with the steel. Pac flipped over the top rope and crashed into Cassidy. Pac blasted Orange with a shotgun dropkick off the top rope. Cassidy is still dazed from when his head collided with the ring post, said Excalibur. Pac pump kicked Orange in the corner. Pac climbed to the top rope, but Orange Cassidy rolled away. Pac nailed Orange with a German suplex. Cassidy came from nowhere with Stun Dog Millionaire. He followed up with a Tope Suicida to Pac, driving him into the barricade. Orange followed that up with a diving DDT. Orange planted Pac with another DDT for a near fall. Did you see how Pac's body went bent and contorted after the DDT? Asked Excalibur. Pac grabbed Orange and put him into the brutalizer, but Orange transitioned into a pin attempt for a near fall. Orange hit the orange punch and covered Pac, but Pac grabbed the bottom rope to have the count stopped. Fans chanted, "This is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome." Outside the ring, Pac popped Orange with a ring bell hammer. The ref didn't see it. After the strike, Pac pinned Orange Cassidy after the ring bell, after ringing his bell. I got another thing from my family. I got to attend to this. This is big. Sorry. Interim AEW World Women's Championship match. Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb versus Athena versus Dr. Britt Baker, TMD. Tony used a backslide on Athena for a near fall. Baker used a crucifix on Deeb, but Deeb escaped. Tony used a dropkick on Baker. Tony climbed to the top turnbuckle. Britt and Deeb met Tony up there for a double suplex, but Athena powerbombed Deeb and Britt, which also sent Storm crashing onto the mat. Deeb chopped Storm until Storm suplexed Deeb. Baker snapped Storm with a swinging neckbreaker. Deeb used a neckbreaker of her own on Storm for a near fall. Storm DDT'd Athena. Storm cradled Baker and pinned her. Lightning quick on that pin, said Shivani. After the match, a bloodied up Britt Baker began to beat the champion. Jamie Hayter sprinted to the ring. Hayter and Baker double teamed Tony while Deeb attacked Athena. Baker curb stomped Athena. Saraya walked out onto the ramp. What a moment, says Saraya. All these women left in the ring stunned as the arrival of Saraya. Saraya invited Athena and Tony Storm into the ring and they embraced. Grand Slam Tournament Champion final match. 3-time World Champion Jon Moxley versus 6-time World Champion the American Dragon Bryan Danielson. Lord William Regal joined the commentary team for this match. Someone in the BCC is going to be the new AEW World Champion, said Regal. MJF is watching in the skybox holding his chip. Bryan and Mox dropped one another. They chain wrestled and then went back to the chops. Bryan headbutted Moxley. Bryan followed up with round kicks. Moxley shoved Danielson into the corner and began to pounce on Danielson. Bryan reversed Mox and then charged at Mox with his boot. Bryan kicked Moxley in the back with roundhouse kicks, battering the spine. Moxley turned things around with toe kicks to Bryan's back. Danielson booted Moxley off the top turnbuckle and followed up with a diving knee strike. Danielson drop kicked Moxley from the top rope. Danielson targeted Moxley's left arm, but Moxley grabbed a choke. Bryan stunned Moxley with a German suplex on the ring apron. Moxley powerbombed Danielson and then applied a single leg crab. Moxley nailed Danielson with a leg capture suplex. Moxley connected with a lariat in the corner. Danielson managed to bring down Moxley with a suplex from the top turnbuckle. Moxley transitioned into the label lock. Danielson escapes and ground and pound. Moxley in the mountain position. Danielson locked on the cattle mutilation on Moxley. Danielson used the hammer and anvil elbows. Danielson kicked Moxley in the head with a roundhouse, but Danielson grabbed his left leg, the same one that was injured last week. Moxley smashed Danielson with the Death Rider for a 2 count. Danielson captured Moxley's wrists and began to stomp on Mox. Danielson pulled Moxley into the triangle sleeper. Moxley rolled through, but Danielson captured Mox in the little bell lock. Mox escaped and then crushed Bryan with a Death Rider on the stage. Mox applied the rear choke in the middle of the ring. Danielson attacked the grip and tried to escape, but Moxley flattened out Danielson. Danielson was fading and he was out. There's a new AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley. What a classic main event, said Tony Schiavone. Lord William Regal entered the ring after the match, and Danielson went to go take the title, and he put it around Moxley's waist after they went off the air. Excellent. We're going to have a great night of wrestling tonight. SmackDown, do we see Mr. White Rabbit himself, Mr. Bray Wyatt? or are we going to get disappointed? Now this is not on Vince McMahon now. This is all on Triple H. So we are going to be as hard on him as we did his father-in-law, correct? Okay. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited. I'm not going to be able to see Rampage. I'll watch it tomorrow while I'm eating dinner after I get back from seeing my son. But yeah, he's 17 now, and holy shit, can't believe he's 17. I'm dead serious. I cannot believe he's 17. But anywho, we are on the cusp of doing Extreme Rules. I will be covering Extreme Rules. It's not going to be a live preview and predictions and review. I'm hoping that I can at least do the review, but if I can't, oh well. But but nonetheless, excellent week of wrestling. Now we're going to be kicking off a new week of wrestling, so let's enjoy. And that is it. Please check out all my social media, which is Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, Mel's Mat Chat. Also, check me out on Facebook and Snapchat. Also, please go check out harrys.com for all your shaving and toiletry essentials. Also, please go check out Maestro Classics for all your beard essentials at maestroclassics.com. Go check out Liquid Death and check out their 3 new flavors, which are lime, mango orange, and mixed berry. Please do yourself a favor. Please go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com and go check out their 2 new flavors, which one of them is going to be permanent, which is the espresso, and pumpkin chai has dropped. So go check that out. Go, please, if you're going to go see some wrestling and you're in the metro area, please go check out House of Glory. They are putting on Genesis on the 24th, which is tomorrow night, and we support them here. I support them, and please go check out everything else on House of Glory at hogwrestling.net, and please go check out Outbreak Wrestling and Sanctuary in the greater Pennsylvania area. Please have a great weekend, and I will be back here at 2 p.m. next week for episode 258. Until then, have a great weekend, and I love you. And remember to go check. Oh, remember, wait a minute. If you're here, go subscribe, like, share, and spread it around. That's all I ask. Okay? Again, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.